Can anyone explain to me what's happened to the world? We basically live in a future where anything we want can be shown at us right under our fingertips, but so many times I find myself wanting to go back to when life was more simple. When we had dedicated devices for things, not these all-in-one phones that's your camera, iPod, phone, and computer all in one. Like, remember when you would get a new phone, spend minutes either making or finding the perfect ringtone? Now we just go with whatever comes built in on this thing. Or even when every TV show didn't just release the whole season over one weekend and the hype dies down way too quickly, I'll take it up a notch. Remember when Black Friday actually meant real deals? Damn near giving away TVs, not just raising the prices a week before so discounts look massive. There's so many things that just aren't as good as they used to be. The modern world has gifted us 4K and super fast internet, but it's also taken away some genuinely great stuff that allowed us to connect with each other. Things that we desperately need back. I'm not talking about these rose tinted glasses where everything was perfect back in the old days rant, because not everything was better. I'll be honest about that. Believe me. I'm talking about like the actual tangible losses that have made life a little less fun, a little more expensive, and a lot less connected. So from the death of local co-op gaming to the tragedy that is the housing market, and yes, even the slow, painful decline of some great movie studios, looking at you, Pixar, we're going through the whole list today. Okay, so let's get into it. Ringtones. I had to start with this one first because it's basically what gave me this whole idea for this video: custom ringtones. There was this golden time when getting a phone call told people a lot about you. You'd hear someone's phone ring across the cafeteria and immediately know whether they were a Soulja Boy kid, a Paramore kid, some kind of jokester, they loved rap, hip hop, one of those, or they just had one of those weird ringtones that was just some weird sounds like pick up your phone. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
What a lame text message alert.
Excuse me. Text message.
Now that's better.
It seems like everyone just sticks with the default ringtones that come with the phone, or they try to keep their phone on silent for as long as possible. If my phone ringtone ever goes off, I have a panic attack, because if someone's calling me, that means something is wrong. But yes, I know I can change it. It doesn't matter. Custom ringtones were fun. I remember they had these custom ringtone commercials like Jamster that would play all day on TV, and apparently they weren't free because the phone company was charging me like $20 a month to get 5 versions of Crazy Frog. True story. Oh, and do you remember ringback tones? When you'd call someone, you wouldn't just hear a ringing noise like you would actually hear a song or sound of their choice. It was so cool. It happened one time in my life where I ever heard a ringback tone, and I've never heard it again. Man, bring custom ringtones back. We have to do it again. This was such a fun era when people just had cell phones and they were just ringing off the hook.
My phone be ringing off the hook like, yeah.
This was great. We have to bring it back. Next, I have to talk about local multiplayer in video games, because this loss actually still hurts me personally. I feel like it's just so rare to find a good game that is co-op nowadays. Most recently, we've had It Takes Two and Split Fiction. Before the internet was this massive thing in the gaming world, playing video games in the same room, on the same console, on the same screen was the norm. And yes, I know Nintendo still has many co-op multiplayer party games, and of course any sports game like Madden or 2K's multiplayer, but that number is still dwindling. It shouldn't be limited to just those types of games. Today, it's all about online. It's about the separate $70 copies of a game, a 60-year online subscription, and shouting into a mic at someone you've never met who lives 1,362 miles away. That communal experience in proximity is leaving. That amazing tension of having your enemy sit 2 feet away from you, where the stakes were who gets to have the last slice of pizza, that's now mostly been replaced by like sterile, isolating matchmaking. And yes, the internet brings people closer together, but at the same time, the people who are already closer no longer have an opportunity to be close. Does that make sense? We need developers to stop relying on just online and remember that sometimes the most memorable gaming experiences happen when you and your friends are playing right next to each other, side by side, fighting against each other or fighting with each other. Doesn't matter. on the same couch. So yeah, let's bring that back as soon as possible. Actually, I know it's very possible. Cuphead, that's another game that had a co-op mode. Like we could do it easily. Anyway, next on my list is a thing that the iPhone actually killed, but we desperately need to bring back, and I think you all know what I'm talking about. The iPod. Now, I know what you're all thinking, but my phone is an iPod. That's the whole problem. There was this genuine, beautiful intent that came with the classic iPod. It did one thing, sometimes two, sometimes I had a radio, but it did that one thing. It played music. You buy an album in store and you were able to burn it directly to your iPod, or if you were a little troublemaker, you'd use LimeWire and get free music. No one ever did that though. That's just a myth. There wasn't this scrolling endlessly on streaming services through an entire catalog. You had a finite library, and because of that, you appreciated and curated every song in it. Every song you put on was one of your favorites. You had to actively choose what you wanted to listen to, and it forced this sense of musical intention, right? Music itself is just a beautiful thing that everyone loves in some way, and now music is just another app icon nestled between Instagram and mail. It's almost an afterthought. I think the main thing about an iPod is the intention behind it, right? And not to say that people are intentful when listening to music, but sometimes when working out, I wish I didn't have my phone with me or all its distractions, but still had a device to play music on. We need to bring the iPod back, not just for the amazing click wheel, though God, I miss the click wheel, but for that mental separation. We need a way to say, okay, for the next hour, this device is only for music. That sense of dedicated, distraction-free listening is a piece of digital peace that we give up for convenience of one single device. And I think we gotta bring it back. And another thing, at the time of writing this video, Black Friday had recently passed, and boy, oh boy, it was a stinker. Back in the day, you knew it was a good Black Friday when people were getting trampled and busting through doors, or people were just waiting in those huge lines outside of stores like Best Buy for hours just to get a 55-inch TV for $50. Great deal. I remember Old Navy did this 50% off everything deal like many years ago. I left with a handful of items and only paid like $30 and was so mad because the line was so long and I felt like I didn't get enough things. Another time I was inside of a Walmart minutes before 12 a.m. when Black Friday was officially launching, and there were hundreds of people surrounding pallets of items just waiting to claim them. And I kid you not, when 12 a.m. hit, I heard a loud sound and rumbling erupting within the store like the apocalypse had just started. It was the scariest sound I've ever heard. But at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make is that the deals were real. Now Black Friday is basically a month-long faux marketing ploy. Everything's on sale, but if you use any price history checker, you can see that they hiked the price up a week before Black Friday just so they could bring it back down to normal prices. Claim, you know, it's discounted, it's 44% off, this is 30% off. Companies slap red sale signs on crap like we don't notice, but everyone notices. There's been so many TikToks of people uncovering fake store sales and prices, and it's getting to a point where I wonder if these companies think we're stupid, especially with everything being online or just being on Amazon.
Get one free. $14. Regular price, $7.
That's how they do it. 49.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now,
We've lost that Black Friday thrill. We lost the honesty. Nobody's lining up for these Black Friday early access weeks. Nobody's racing inside. Nobody's leaving a store clutching a box like they just stole fire from the gods. Like, bring back real Black Friday deals and just stop lying. This next one's kind of personal, but I feel like a lot of people will definitely agree with me on it. Now, I know many of you love binge watching TV, but shows need to stop dropping an entire season all at once. Look, I get it. Binge watching, it was cool at first. You get to see all the episodes for the season immediately without having to wait. Right? It's amazing. You could finish a whole series before your friends even made it past episode 2, but somewhere along the way, it stopped being exciting and just became exhausting. It started to feel like like homework, right? There was just so much to watch with multiple shows releasing, with multiple episodes watching. It just felt like a burden to do. They released every single episode of the season all at once. Like, was the show great? Sure, but the hype died so fast, and instead of stretching out a season over 10 to 12 weeks, now it feels like the wait time between the next season is just that much longer. Like, I think Apple TV has done it right when it comes to streaming. They premiere their shows on technically Friday at like 9 p.m. like traditional TV. One episode a week, one episode at a time, and it's like 10 to however many episode seasons, and you watch that show. Everyone's watching that show at the same time for a long period of time, right? This allows everyone globally to have time to catch up, but also experience the episodes together. It's an experience. That's what a show is. The shows feel like moments instead of just being a blip or a thing you just talk about quickly over the weekend. When everything releases at once, the conversation dies in a week. A whole season gets spoiled by Thursday, and there's no build up from episode to episode, no weekly theories, no time for theories at all, no cliffhangers, no discussions. Like, you just get bam, 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 back to back. Weekly releases give shows a life cycle. They felt bigger. You actually had time to sit with the moments instead of speed running them. You had time to digest what had happened. The anticipation in the show was half the fun. Waiting a week for the next episode gave the show room to breathe and really made it feel important, like it held space. Also, I miss when shows had 22 episode seasons. Now it's like 8, and we're lucky to get more than 10, with each being an hour, and they have the highest budgets you've ever seen on any TV show or movie. And I'm not saying that every show needs to stretch itself out forever, but dumping a whole season at once burns through good TV way too fast. Bring back the weekly releases, bring back talking about shows for more than 5 minutes, bring back TV that actually takes its time. Looking back at it all this stuff, it's kind of wild, like how many simple things we let slip away. None of it is or was complicated. None of it required innovation from $1 trillion company. It was just these everyday things that made life feel a little more fun and a little more personal, or a little more achievable. Custom ringtones, real Black Friday deals, weekly TV releases, local co-op games, iPods. Like, that didn't require a miracle to afford. The world didn't get worse overnight, but you can definitely see the slow fade. Bit by bit, the things that made our lives feel grounded or exciting were replaced by whatever is efficient or optimized or somehow profitable for a company that you'll never meet. And sure, we can't bring everything back exactly how it was. Time has passed. I know that makes sense, but some of this does deserve a second chance, and they reboot old movies all the time. Like, people are longing for retro tech. People who want old game consoles. There's something about this time and nostalgia that we all love. So if anything, this whole list is just a reminder that we actually liked the world better when it wasn't trying so hard to be modern. Saying things are just better, and maybe it's time that we finally admit that. So what's something that you had back in the past that you wish they brought back? Let me know down in the comments. And I have another video for you right here if you want to check that out. And I appreciate you guys so much. I'm King Maurice. Peace.